Good time of the day to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you to the organizer for inviting me to this conference. And I hope that despite the long distance and online mode of the conference, we will have some good time and fruitful conversations here. My name is Oleg Shovkovyy, and I am a business lecturer at Interuniversity International College, Phitsanulok, Thailand. So today I would like to acquaint you with results of my study on awareness of challenges to labor market associated with automation and robotization. The prerequisite for this study was 3+ years of experience from teaching at Thai universities. During this time, I got the impression that Thai curriculum and training programs do not really match to requirements of the day. Particularly in regards to robotics and in regards to losing jobs to robots in the future, in all this time, 3+ years, I haven't heard anyone ever talk about this. So basically, it made me wonder what is going on. And I would like to know how much do Thai students and Thai educators know about the problems, upcoming problem of losing job to robots in the future. So to do so, I had to conduct this study. And let's start from introduction. So what do we know about the problem? Or what do we know about this issue? While many of us have common agreement that first, second and third industrial revolutions aimed at improving lives of people, human beings, and increasing productivity of output of production, there is like mixed opinions about the fourth industrial revolution. Something that's happening right now, something that some people call digital or robotics revolution. So some people believe, there is some opinions that fourth industrial revolution will be much different. And this difference, they connect with kind of saturation point that automatization and robotic technology reached some kind of qualitative improvements and development of artificial intelligence, which altogether call for some quantitative push. Which in turn will result in revolutionary changes to everything around us. So basically, make it short, we believe, or there is opinion that in the very near future many operations which before were done by humans will be taken over by artificial intelligence, by robots. So let's see what in this regard think some leaders. For example, Mr. Putin, Russian president, in 2017 he said that artificial intelligence is the future, and this future not only for Russia but for all humankind, means for every country. And then he added that it comes with colossal opportunities, but also with threats that are difficult to predict. He said that whoever becomes the leader in this sphere will become the ruler of the world. So this tells you something about the importance of the issue. So basically, in regards to the fourth industrial revolution, there are different mixed opinions, as I said. Some people believe it will lead to new improvements in our lives. Some people believe that it will be completely different this time, and this fourth industrial revolution will not improve our lives, but totally opposite, will endanger humankind, not only in a working place, but overall. So let's see what are argument of the pessimists. Pessimists, for example, McKinsey Institute predict that by 2023 automation will threaten 800 million jobs worldwide. Among these jobs, manual, routinious and dangerous jobs. The same source also say that robotization will take jobs from 80 to 100% of following specialties: guides, taxi drivers, bakers, butchers, models, pharmacists, etc. So many jobs, up to 100%, might be replaced or taken over by the robots. And according to another pessimist, Bank of America, by 2025, robots will perform 47% of production tasks in United States. So now this figure is about 10%. The very similar predictions given to Thailand. So basically, PricewaterhouseCoopers estimates that about 45% of work activities will be automated soon in Thailand. So the optimists, on contrary, say that don't worry about this one. We will have some kind of dual effect. So some jobs will gone and some jobs will replace them. But is it like this? For example, if we want to take manual and routinious and dangerous jobs from humans, so some of them very simple tasks which are not required any further education than high school maybe. So if you take this job from these people, what other job you can suggest for them? Optimists say that we can retrain these people, we can teach them the new skills, and basically they are talking about some intellectual skills, kind of intellectual jobs. But I very doubt that people who did some manual tasks all their life will be able to study some new skills. So argument about dual effect is kind of tricky business. So how countries in the world would like to respond to these challenges? As on spring 2019, 30+ countries had developed some roadmaps, some strategies of development artificial intelligence and implementation technology in the countries to serve different goals. Some of these goals are here: to achieve strategic leadership, economic growth, to use for national security, for social services, or for purpose of education, etc. China, for example, wants to be a leader, absolute leader by 2030. And so what about other countries? Whereas China and United States see themselves as absolute leaders in area of implementation of artificial intelligence, countries like Japan see themselves as a local leader or leader in particular area. Another country assume themselves different roles and different place in terms of implementation and use of artificial intelligence. So what about Thailand? In Thailand, in 2016 was introduced a new economic model, Thailand 4.0. This economic model implies the massive reformatting of workforce. So basically a massive use of automation and robotization in workplace. So the goal set by this policy is to turn Thailand from a very small player in this market or in terms of implementation of artificial intelligence into #1 player in Asia. So basically, in order to facilitate this policy model, was established collaborative network of Thai universities. So it was established by Center of Robotics and Technologies and Thai Ministry of Industry. And unfortunately, maybe because of very small number of universities involved into this area, only 20 universities out of 228 at that time. Maybe because of this, the center or network of Thai universities cannot manage to catch up with requirements and goals set by themselves. For instance, in 2018, instead of 5,000 retrained educators planned, they managed to retrain only 500 educators. So at the same time, in Japan, were retrained or prepared 80 times more professionals. So basically professional teachers which acquired new skills. So while once acquired new skills, they will be able to transfer the skills to the students. So 80 times more, it's quite impressive numbers, right? So let's go to the next slide. So by looking at this picture taken from the website, core website, I think I got an impression that all these people who run the network, they apply kind of old style of thinking. They underestimate the importance of the issue. They believe that same as it happened many times in the past, the technology will be given to Thailand. They do not think the same as Putin say, that somebody who achieved the leadership in implementation of artificial intelligence will be the ruler of the world. So if we follow the Putin's logic, why would the ruler transfer technology to people who, or to countries that's supposed to serve the ruler? So it's very unlikely, in my opinion, technology transfer happen again. So in this slide we have a current state of implementation of automation and robotization in some different countries, and we can see that Thailand still doing better than any other countries, but not so great as the world leaders. So basically long way to go. But anyway, the Thailand 4.0 model, it meant to change all of this and meant to make Thailand a leader, Asian leader in this area. So having understanding that we as teachers must be responsible for our students, we must be responsible that our students will get the knowledge that they will be able to use in the future, and they will get a job after graduation. I would like to know whether how much do we do in this direction. So I set research question as how much do educators and students know about the danger of losing jobs due to automation and robotization in the future? I want to know what about university programs? Do they meet challenges of tomorrow or not? I also want to know whether this topic received enough attention in terms of informative coverage from authorities. And lastly, I want to know what jobs are perceived by students and educators as being in danger of displacement or disappearance because of robotization and automation in the future. In this research, I define as educators everyone who has something to do with education, a field of education, lecturers, teachers, administrative staff, everyone who's working for government, who can affect the educational process, and words automation, robotization are used interchangeably. In its nature, it's quantitative exploratory research, which use mixed method, such as sequential method for turning qualitative data from the secondary sources as well from the one-to-one interviews with faculty members into survey questionnaire, which later used to collect data from university and lecturers, educators and students. My population was made of students and educators, teachers and other individuals who involved into field of education. I set my goal to collect the data from 400 students and 100 educators. And I did not apply any restrictions such as gender or age on participation in study. And I used principle of non-representativeness. So means that I did not really aim at collecting a certain number of responses from certain university or from certain faculty, etc. So two different questionnaires, although they were very similar in the main part, were distributed to students and educators. Both versions were available only in Thai language and contain 11 to 10 questions, distributed in offline at Bangkok, Pitsanalok and Hua Hin, and also online mode with application of non-probability sampling techniques such as convenient sampling, snowball and self-selection. No personal data were collected, and everything took approximately 3 months to collect all data. So, demography of respondents. The data was collected from 651 individuals, 556 of whom were students alone. So all of these respondents, they represent 57 educational institutions, and basically this information based only on data from 286 respondents. So many respondents, as you may see, they did not answer to this question. The most respondents or most responses were collected from these 10 universities, top 10 universities, which took part in the survey. So the answer suggests that these 651 individuals represent 152 fields of study or faculties. So you see, it's very huge disperse, very huge or big reach. And then we have that out of 556 students, 540 were students who study at the bachelor level, and we got few students who study at a master level. So in order to answer the first research question, do respondents know about the danger of losing jobs to robots soon? I asked them this very simple yes/no question, and 606 respondents answer yes, they knew about the danger of losing jobs to robots. However, when I asked them to clarify, when I asked respondents to clarify how did they learn about the issue, 74 students say they learn right now at the moment of surveying. Means not 33 but 74 students did not know about the issue. I conclude that only 565 students and educators knew about the issue before survey. In order to test how likely observed distribution in between population is due to chance, I ran chi-square goodness fit test, and the test shows significant deviation in between population. How they answer yes and no questions means that students obviously will have a different knowledge than educators, and this different knowledge due to their different backgrounds and different level of knowledge. So further analysis of comments to survey showed that only 50 plus 14 64 students only learn about the issue as a result of purposeful educational effort on site of universities. So these 64 students represent only 19 universities out of 57. So it's 33%. So these are top 7 universities from this list are Chiang Mai University, Chulalongkorn, Kasetsart, Mahidol, Rangsit, Suvarnabhumi, and Thammasat universities. To measure whether university programs meet the challenges of tomorrow, researchers use 5-point Likert scale ranging from 1 to 5 with congruent interpretation of scores with interval 0.8. So basically, according to this table, we can see that total number of respondents, neither yes or not, so they cannot really provide a clear answer. They are not sure whether programs are meeting challenges of tomorrow or not. To measure whether authorities provide enough of educational coverage for the issue, the researcher used the same tools, 5-point Likert scale. So by looking at this table, we can conclude that neither students or educators cannot really clear state whether educational support is good or not. What does it mean? Probably they never pay attention to, or maybe it is just insignificant. So lastly, when identifying the jobs which are being in danger of disappearing in near future due to robotization automation, students and educators managed to select 93 jobs, and whereas 54 of the jobs were repeated in answer more than one participant. What is interesting that this list of 8 jobs are most frequently mentioned as being in danger was the same for students and educators. So these findings actually correlate with the forecast by PricewaterhouseCoopers Consulting Thailand, which predict that accountant, bank officers and factory workers will be the first to be hit by the digital disruption. So it means that data received during this research, during the study, kind of trustworthy. The high number of respondents who claim to know about the danger of losing jobs to automation, robotization in the future must be treated with caution, because a very well known trait of Thai character. Thai people usually say yes and hardly say directly no when answering the question. So basically, the real number of respondents who knew about the problem could be much smaller than 565. Worrying the fact that only 49 students were confident about the profession and field of study, whereas 91.2% students probably were not very well informed about the future of the job market during the enrollment. Then the fact that only 108 respondents learned about the danger, about the problem from education institutions tell us that education institutions do not do a good job. But among these universities that do good job, 5 belong to top 10 Thai universities, and 3 are members of the collaborative network. It might suggest some kind of inequality in information distribution within Thai universities. Significant is the fact that only 8 educators, teachers, they did not know about the problem at all, and 37 teachers learned about the problem, about the danger of challenges to labor market from news and not from educational institution. So this is the people who are working in the field and who are supposed to take care of the future of students. So they're supposed to teach students something that will be relevant. But if educators do not know themselves or learn from some other sources, it's very questionable what they teaching students. And also interesting that only 49% of teachers believe that university curriculums meeting the requirements of tomorrow. What does it mean? That most of the teachers, they teach something that they not believe in. So the quality of such teaching could be also questionable. So conclusions. Majority of surveyed knew about the issue. However, only small fraction of the students learned about the issue as a result of, 64 students, as a result of purposeful educational effort. Means universities, education institutions do not work enough in this direction. So taking that this 64 students represent only 19 universities, we can say that only 24% of Thai universities somehow convey the information to their students. So informative coverage of issue in media and universities is insufficient and also ineffective. And unsatisfactory also the fact that only 14 students were informed by the university counselor about the future perspectives of their profession or major field of study. So these 14 students represent only 5 out of 57 universities. So we can conclude that only 8% of Thai universities have a well-tuned counseling system. And lastly, 226 students believe that very unlikely be working in profession after graduation. So, and 301 or 54% of students believe that their profession will be probably not relevant at time of graduation. What would be the answer to research titles? Do students and educators aware of challenges to labor market from automation and robotization? I would say no. I would say awareness is very low. Why? Because we have many respondents who knew about the problem, but as it confirmed by data, not many aware of how to respond to it. We have students, many students who believe that their profession, their field of study will be not relevant in the future, but they still continue to learn the same thing. We have the teachers, 51% of whom believe that they teaching something not really relevant to challenges of the future, but they still do the same. So in response to this, I would suggest that Thai universities should review and redo their curriculums to ensure that their programs are relevant to tomorrow's labor market needs. And authorities should take care not only of popularization of the topic, but also have to start offer some practical measures and tools which could help everyone to tailor their future. And this is all about my presentation. I would like to thank you everyone for attention. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope you learned something. In case you have questions, please feel free to ask me right now here through the conference, or you can send me email. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Goodbye.